and welcome to this week's Make Light video. Today I'm going to give you 10 great tips for improving your photography. It's so important to practice your photography, and I think it can sometimes be really quite tricky to think about how you can do this, what kind of things you can do to change what you're doing, to improve what you're doing, to inspire you really to get your camera out. So here are my top 10 tips for you today. The first one is make sure that you have a camera in your everyday bag. This can be your camera, your main camera, or your phone. Just make sure that it's charged and has room for photos on it, and be ready to take pictures. It's really easy, isn't it, to leave our cameras in a bag at home, and then we're out and about and we see something beautiful and inspiring and we don't have a camera with us. So make a change and get a camera in your everyday bag. The second thing is move your feet. This might sound simple, but I see so many people deciding where they're going to stand to take a picture and they're not moving, and they think that the camera can do everything for them. This is particularly true if you have a lens that will zoom in and out. It can make you really, really lazy because you stand there, you press zoom, or you press in, your lens is going in and out like this, and you think that's all you need to do. Well, I would advise not doing that for a day and moving your feet. You can move further in, you can move further back, you can move to the left or to the right, you can even bend your legs and move up and down. It will be an amazing revelation to see the different kinds of images you can create if you just move your feet. The third one is try and shoot with a wide open aperture. If you don't know what this means, then I suggest you book on my online for beginners course or come to a Make Light workshop in my studio and find out how to stop shooting on auto and control your aperture, because it really, really helps you to create all sorts of different images if you can control that on your camera. The next one is turn off your flash. Please practice shooting in natural light, because I think you will absolutely love it. And if you turn off your flash, it will really help you to know when you've got good light and when you might need to wait for the next day or move into a different place to take your picture. Enjoy natural light. The next one is, just looking at my list, is take a shot and then try it from a different angle. I absolutely love doing this, and sometimes I leave the room and do something else for 5 minutes, and then I come back in, and when I come back in, I am entering the room and I see the thing that I'm photographing from a different angle, and sometimes that is the image that I have been trying to create and just couldn't do it. So approaching your subject matter, wherever that is, whether it's indoors or outdoors, from different angles. Try and create as many images as you can from using different angles from one setup. It's a really, really interesting thing to do, and it will really help you to see in lots of different ways. The next one is fix your white balance. And again, if you don't know how to do this, then book on one of my courses or come to my studio for one of my workshops, and we can get your white balance working for you. You know, when your images look a bit yellow or they might look a bit blue, those are kind of two classic ones for white balance problems. Well, you can fix this with your camera so that you're not having to fix it afterwards. You're not having to edit that white balance afterwards. You can fix it in your camera, which is very cool. Shoot without looking. This is always a fun one to do. You can do this if you are out and about. Street scenes are really cool if you shoot from the hip and see what you discover. Or you can do, one of my absolute favourites is shooting in long grass and doing some really lovely macro shots without looking and seeing the different kind of feels that you can get from a picture. It's a very different thing to setting something up and really focusing on the thing that you want to focus on. It's having fun with the camera and it's experimenting, and I think it's really important to experiment because it really helps your creativity and it really helps you to create great images when you are looking through the viewfinder or at the back of your camera. So have fun with it, shoot without looking and see the images that your camera can create. It's very fun. Balance the camera on something. Okay, so this can help again with your angles, or sort of a different way of thinking about moving with your feet is actually by placing the camera on something. And you could do this and you could create some beautiful self-portraits by balancing it on something and then using the self-timer. That would be really fun, or a remote shutter release. Or by balancing it on something, maybe you can create a more stable image and you don't get so much camera shake and you can have fun with that. Or you could balance it on something, as I said, to just create a different angle, a different way of looking at the thing. So have fun by balancing your camera on something and see what you can create with that. Look for a story. I think you should be looking for stories in all your images, but when you go out and about, it can be really fun to look for a story. What's happening in the street where you live? What's happening in your favourite street where you like to go shopping? What's happening in the park? What is happening in the sky? Look up. Is there a story in the sky you can tell, or a story looking down at your feet? A really tiny macro story might be happening on the floor beneath your feet. So look for stories that are out there. Don't just create the stories, but look for them as well and see what you can capture. And finally, prepare in advance. I am always telling people how amazing it is when you do this. This means that you can prepare in advance. You can think of the props that you might need, or you can think of a location that you would like to visit, and you can make time in your calendar to make sure you're visiting. You can style something in advance, working in the evenings when maybe there's not enough light for your photography, but there's still enough light to style something, and then it's ready for the next day. It can feel so satisfying. And I love also scribbling down ideas for pictures, drawing little sort of plans of my photographs, and I love having ideas when I'm in the shower or when I go for a run, and really thinking about images that I want to create before I even have a camera in my hand. It really brings another dimension to my photography, and I really enjoy it once I get the camera in my hand and then I can capture the images that I have been dreaming about. I hope that's helped to inspire you. My beginners course online and my beginners courses in my studios are two of my favourite things to teach. I love taking people who have a camera and they really don't know what to do with it, and they've shot on auto all their life, and taking them and showing them how easy it is, or can be, to really master your camera and to be able to shoot in aperture priority mode, and to really grasp and feel in control of your camera and start taking even better photographs. So I hope you will join me on one of those courses soon, and I want you to have a wonderful week and enjoy taking some pictures.